Peter the Great, 1672 to 1725. Peter I of Russia, later known as Peter the Great, modernized and expanded Russia, transforming it into a major European power. Becoming Tsar in 1682 and later Emperor in 1721, he westernized Russian society, overhauling the military, government, and economy. He traveled through Europe incognito to learn shipbuilding and modern practices, which he implemented back home. He founded St. Petersburg as a new capital on the Baltic Sea, symbolizing Russia's pivot toward Europe. Peter's reforms were sweeping but autocratic, often enforced with brutality. He established the table of ranks to promote merit over nobility and reformed the Orthodox Church to increase state control. His legacy is one of bold transformation, laying the groundwork for Russia's rise as a global power. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1882 to 1945. Serving an unprecedented 4 terms as U.S. President, Franklin D. Roosevelt led the United States through the Great Depression and World War II, 2 of the most challenging periods in American history. Elected in 1932, he implemented the New Deal, a series of programs and reforms designed to revive the economy, support workers, and introduce long-term social safety nets like Social Security. Despite contracting polio and losing the use of his legs, Roosevelt remained a dynamic and optimistic leader, inspiring the nation through fireside chats on radio. During World War II, he forged crucial alliances and helped shape the post-war world, contributing to the founding of the United Nations. FDR's leadership fundamentally reshaped the role of government in American life and solidified the U.S. as a global leader. Suleiman the Magnificent, 1494 to 1566. Suleiman ruled the Ottoman Empire at its territorial peak. Known for both his military prowess and cultural contributions, he expanded the empire into Europe, taking Belgrade and parts of Hungary. Domestically, he reformed laws to balance Islamic principles with practical governance, earning respect as a just ruler. His court was a center of art, literature, and architecture, producing landmarks like the Suleiman Mosque, Charlemagne, c. 747 to 814. As king of the Franks and later Holy Roman Emperor, Charlemagne united much of Western Europe for the first time since Rome's fall. He supported education and the arts, initiating the Carolingian Renaissance. His administrative reforms laid the groundwork for medieval European governance. His coronation by Pope Leo III in 800 symbolized the fusion of Roman, Christian, and Germanic traditions. Queen Victoria, 1819 to 1901. Victoria ascended the British throne in 1837 at just 18 years old, reigning for 63 years during a transformative period of industrialization, empire building, and social reform. Her reign, known as the Victorian era, saw the British Empire expand to become the largest in history, influencing cultures and economies across the globe. Although her political influence was limited by constitutional monarchy, she became a symbol of national unity and moral values, embodying the era's ideals of duty, family, and propriety. The spread of Victorian culture, along with advancements in science, transportation, and industry, marked her reign as a time of progress and global dominance. Upon her death in 1901, Britain stood at the height of its imperial power. Simon Bolivar, 1783 to 1830. Born in Caracas, Venezuela, Simón Bolívar was a military and political leader who played a key role in the liberation of 6 South American countries from Spanish colonial rule: Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Panama. Deeply inspired by Enlightenment ideals and the American and French revolutions, Bolívar envisioned a united, independent Latin America, though political divisions hindered this goal. He led armies across treacherous terrain, including the Andes Mountains, defeating superior Spanish forces. Known as El Libertador, he remains a revered figure and symbol of freedom and anti-imperialism throughout Latin America. Casimierz III the Great, 1310 to 1370. The last king of Poland from the Piast dynasty, Casimierz III ascended the throne in 1333 and transformed a fragmented, war-torn kingdom into a prosperous and powerful state. Known for his reforms, he codified laws, strengthened the economy, and protected the rights of Jews and other minorities. He founded the University of Krakow, later Jagiellonian University, promoting education and culture. Through diplomacy and internal stability, he expanded Poland's territory and influence without significant warfare. Revered for his just rule, he earned the title, the Great, and upon his death, Adolf Hitler, 1884 1889 to 1945. Born in Austria, Hitler rose to power as leader of the Nazi Party during Germany's post-World War I economic and political turmoil. Appointed chancellor in 1933, he quickly established a totalitarian regime, promoting extreme nationalism, anti-Semitism, and expansionism. His aggressive military actions sparked World War II, and his regime orchestrated the Holocaust, leading to the deaths of 6 million Jews and millions of others. Defeated by the Allied forces, Hitler committed suicide in 1945 as Berlin fell. His legacy is one of tyranny, genocide, and global destruction, serving as a warning against hatred and authoritarianism. Akbar the Great, 1542 to 1605. Akbar, the third Mughal emperor, ascended the throne at age 13 and went on to expand and consolidate a vast empire across the Indian subcontinent. Known for his military acumen and religious tolerance, Akbar abolished the jizya tax on non-Muslims, invited scholars of different faiths to his court, and promoted a policy of Sulh Kul, universal peace. His reign saw cultural flourishing, with Indo-Persian art, architecture, and literature reaching new heights. Akbar established a centralized administrative system, reformed taxation, and sought to integrate the diverse peoples of his empire. His capital, Thatcher, reflected his vision of cultural synthesis. Widely regarded as one of India's greatest rulers, Akbar's legacy is one of inclusive governance and cultural achievement. Ho Chi Minh, 1890 to 1969. Born in Vietnam under French colonial rule, Ho Chi Minh became a revolutionary leader who dedicated his life to Vietnamese independence. Influenced by Marxism, he helped found the Indochinese Communist Party and leader the Viet Minh, leading resistance against Japanese occupation during World War II and then against the French. After defeating France at Dien Bien Phu, 1954, he became the leader of North Vietnam, guiding the country through war against US-backed South Vietnam. Revered as Uncle Ho, he symbolized national liberation and resilience. Though his rule was authoritarian, marked by political repression, Ho remains a national hero in Vietnam and a prominent figure in global anti-colonial movements. Augustus Caesar, 63 BC, 14 CE. Born Gaius Octavius, Augustus was Julius Caesar's adopted heir who, after years of civil war, defeated rivals like Mark Antony and Cleopatra to become Rome's first emperor. His reign marked the end of the Roman Republic and the start of the Pax Romana, a 200-year period of relative peace and prosperity. Augustus reformed the military, developed infrastructure, and established a system of governance that maintained republican institutions in name but imperial control in practice. His title, Augustus, signified divinity and set the standard for future emperors. He transformed Rome into a global empire and is remembered as one of history's most effective and influential rulers. Cyrus the Great, c. 600 to 530 BC, founder of the Achaemenid Persian Empire, Cyrus united the Medes and Persians and conquered Lydia, Babylon, and much of the Near East. He is renowned for his respect for human rights, allowing conquered peoples, including the Jews, to maintain their customs and religions. The Cyrus Cylinder, a record of his policies, is often cited as an early charter of human rights. His empire was known for efficient administration and tolerance, influencing governance in later empires. Cyrus's legacy endures as a visionary leader who combined military success with justice and mercy, earning admiration from both contemporaries and later leaders like Alexander the Great. Margaret Thatcher, 1925 to 2013. Elected as Britain's first female prime minister in 1979, Margaret Thatcher served for 11 years, implementing sweeping economic reforms that became known as Thatcherism. She emphasized privatization, reduced the power of trade unions, and promoted free market policies to revitalize the struggling British economy. Domestically controversial, her tough stance in the Falklands War earned international acclaim. A strong ally of US President Ronald Reagan, she played a key role in the end of the Cold War. Nicknamed the Iron Lady, Thatcher's leadership was marked by determination and conviction, leaving a divisive but transformative legacy in British and global politics. Frederick the Great, 1712 to 1786. King of Prussia from 1740 to 1786, Frederick II transformed his small kingdom into a European power through military success, particularly during the 7 Years' War. A proponent of enlightened absolutism, he promoted religious tolerance, legal legal reform, and education, while maintaining firm royal authority. He corresponded with Voltaire and cultivated the arts, turning Berlin into a cultural hub. Despite his harsh military discipline, Frederick was seen as a philosopher king, balancing conquest with cultural advancement. His reign strengthened Prussia's position in Europe and influenced generations of military and political leaders. Pericles, c. 495 to 429 BC. Athenian statesman Pericles led Athens during its golden age, promoting democracy, culture, and imperial power. He expanded civic participation by paying public officials, enumerating per citizens to serve. His patronage of the arts led to the construction of the Parthenon and the flourishing of drama, philosophy, and architecture. Pericles guided Athens through the early stages of the Peloponnesian War, though he died in a plague during the conflict. His legacy endures as a champion of democratic ideals, cultural achievement, and civic leadership. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to discuss it or suggest new ideas, feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content. See you in the next one.